Alright, it's been a while. I haven't posted very consistently, and that's my bad. Definitely had a lot of opportunities, but we're back now. We're back. And what we're starting with is just something small. I figured that I would show you some of the stuff that I'm gonna do with like the houseplants that I keep, because I keep some pretty cool houseplants, and a couple of basic ones, I guess, but some of them are pretty cool. Like this one. First up is watering and feeding my Venus flytraps. Except this one's getting a new thing. If you can see, this Venus flytrap is in this little dish, and I have another one. And I was using this like glass for this one because I thought that it looked cool, like a pedestal. But I am switching them. And I'm switching them because this is getting dirty and it's out of place. It's a little large. So yeah, keeping these consistent. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing, so this one doesn't like to eat. It's a little small, it's a little bit smaller of a breed or species. And this one's a little larger. And you can tell that by looking at them. But this one doesn't really like to eat, and this one does. You can see this trap is closed for some reason. I don't know if it actually caught a fly or not, but I fed it a couple of days ago, like a cricket, and I'm gonna feed it again. The food of choice is going to be a cricket. Just caught him like 10 minutes ago. I don't know, less. Before just before I started the video, he was outside, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place him onto the trap pad, and the trap's going to trigger. If you don't know, these Venus flytraps, that's what they're called, have not microscopic, but small hairs. You can see them, small hairs that act as triggers. And when they're disturbed, the trap closes. Then the trap fills with the equivalent of the plant's stomach acid and digests whatever prey it catches. The larger the plant, the larger it can eat, and since this one's a little small, it doesn't really like to eat. Regardless of the amount of prey it catches, I'm pretty sure all Venus flytrap species can still survive solely off of water, sunlight, and soil quality, just like any other plant. So feeding them isn't really that big of a deal, but overfeeding them is. You're not supposed to like feed them every day or multiple times a day, I think. And that's just because too much action for the plant can lead to like too much stomach acid coming up, I think. Okay, we got him. We got him on the tip right here. That's fine. And now we're going to try and feed him to the fly trap. Sometimes they go across a couple of them, and when they land in one, it gets them. There you go. Little guy's trapped in there now. Anyways, that's pretty much how they feed. The critter just wanders into one of the traps, and they can close pretty fast on them. So something interesting about these is that each one of these leaves, with the trap included, each have a finite amount of energy pre-stored in the leaf once the trap comes out, once the trap blooms, I guess. And that energy is sometimes expended when the trap catches prey. And so we could see that this one under here, well, that's the one that just ate this one, but even under that one, there is a closed trap that appears to be rotten. And this trap over here that I fed the other day, you see that stem looks a little brown. Yeah, it's perfectly normal for the traps to actually retire or rot off after they've been used. And the plant can kind of take care of itself, but if it does get too brown or black, you might want to cut that leaf off as close to the base of the plant as you can with a sterile with some sterile scissors or something, or plant pruners if you have them. All right, now I'm gonna be watering them, and the way that I water them is not directly into them. I don't just pour water into them, because that is not the way that they like their water. They will kind of reject that. And watering them like once every 3 days that way, like that's not the correct way to water them. And a lot of people's Venus flytraps die because they do water them incorrectly. And so the real way to water them is have them in a dish like they are now, and actually fill the bottom of the dish with water. You can kind of see the fill line here. It just needs to be enough so that these holes in the bottom can be wet. Those holes in the bottom need to be wet 24/7, and that's where the roots kind of suck the water up from. And you can see this plant has died previously, and it came fully back. It's quite large now because this is a very small species, and it's even, I don't know if you can notice this, but this is 2 separate leafing bodies that came out of this. And this one's been being watered the same way, just with water going into the dish for like 3 or 4 days. This one's new, so we'll see how he handles it. But this one has made a great comeback using this method. You could see the fill line on this. That's about how deep you want the water, maybe even a little more shallow than that. You want these holes on the bottom where you can see the dirt. You want all of those to be in contact and submerged in water almost 24/7. You want them to have adequate sunlight with just a bit of shade. I keep them in the bottom tier of this multi-tier shelf where they can look out the window from that way and that way. So they go in here with just a bit of shade, and they seem to really like it. That's it for this video. I hope it was informational and enjoyable. I'm gonna post more though. So yeah, like, subscribe, and stay tuned.